Welcome. You're listening to the Quality Cup Life podcast. My name is Imani, and here we talk about the experiences of young adulthood and the pursuit of a life of richness, fullness, and purpose. We've all heard the saying, you need to pour into your own cup first. You don't want to pour from an empty cup. And then we've also all heard when you're on a plane, they say if something go down, make sure that you put on your mask first and make sure you can breathe before you try to help somebody else, because you cannot do much for anybody if you can't breathe. So let's get into it. All right, so today we are going through the money pillar and how you can make some adjustments in your life to get to more of a place where you feel like you're more in overflow instead of in lack and instead of on autopilot. Stay tuned. Thanks for listening, and let's get into the show. Hey guys, welcome back. And here at Quality Cup Life, we talk about pouring into our cup first. And today what I have in my cup is a smoothie with blueberries, spinach, raw spinach leaves, chocolate flavored bone broth protein, and blueberries. And it's pretty good. So if you're on YouTube watching me, drop down in the comments below what you're drinking today. For further reference, watch previous videos or listen to previous podcasts. If not, you can still, roll along with me. Today we are talking about the money pillar and how you can start to live in abundance and overflow and how you operate. And so the first part of the money pillar is uncover your desires. And uncover your desires means allowing yourself to think about what you actually want. Because, a lot of us, unfortunately, and particularly around this age, my age, I'm 24, we can be on autopilot and just go by what we've been taught in our environment. And sometimes we don't do it on purpose, but we just kind of take on what our environment gave us. And so if our environment didn't really allow too much for dreaming or imagining what the possibility and what could be for what we actually want for our lives, a lot of times we just adjust our lives to what's comfortable in our environment, if that makes sense. And so I'm going to give you an example. So one of my old friends from, I'm going to say high school, she didn't choose to go to college. And that's completely cool if you don't want to go to college, because college is not for everyone. And a lot of times college doesn't give you exactly what people tell you it gives you, but that's a whole nother story, another podcast, another day, right? And so I was like, yeah, cool, whatever about that. But the thing that kind of blew my mind is she never talked about wanting to go to college, not wanting to go to college. It was just never a topic she brought up. And it was very heavily, of course, talked about from the counselors and teachers and everything like that our last year of high school, because they're really like pushing that stuff. And it's not like she knew she didn't want to go to college and she kind of knew what she wanted to do. I've never heard her talk about future plans of what she wanted to do. And unfortunately, I don't think that anybody in her family was on the education or college thing or even like chasing a goal or a dream. I don't ever remember her talking about those types of things, and she was really, really, really smart. If that's just an example, if you can just relax and just allow yourself to dream and allow yourself to think beyond the box of your environment, or think beyond the box of or beyond the zone of your comfort or what you're familiar with, then you'll never really make it to the type of relationship with money that you would love to have. And so the second one is to investigate your currency. And so I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the phrase money is currency and currency is energy. And by that just means that whatever money only has the value that we give it. If you've ever seen, do y'all remember seeing the Shaq shoes and his logo was like, had him hanging on the rim with the ball in his hand like this, he was swinging, versus like Jordans? I'm pretty sure they're made out of the same material, right? But Shaq shoes, well, where I grew up and the kind of schools I went to, you walk into school with Shaq shoes if you want to, they gonna clown you your whole career. Like, they're gonna clown you the whole time. And even after you stop wearing Shaq, somebody still might clown you. Be like, man, you remember back in such and such grade when you was wearing them Shaqs, man? That's crazy. You know what I mean? I'm sure they were made out of the same material, and they probably cost the exact same amount of money to produce. But the thing is, some of us valued and were great or good on paying an extra what, $50, $60, $70, $80 for some Jordans than we would for Shaqs. I've never worn Shaqs before in my life, but I've seen them, and people were walking right past them. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go get some Jordans. So it's just like an example, but we also need to remember how important it is to pay attention to how we talk about money, how we think about money, how the people that we're close to talk and think about money. Because if the people closest to you are thinking that money is hard to come by, or they have to always find ways to save $1 here, save $1 there, they're always going the cheap route, even when it's something that's very, it would be very useful to them or very practical or whatever for them to get the better quality thing, they still do that. Or they're always clipping coupons, or just like stuff like that, always complaining about not having enough, or, oh, that's too expensive, or whatever. If people around you are doing that, you're going to pick that up. So just be very careful. And sometimes if you notice those are the people that are around you, it might be a good idea to shift the people that you spend the most time with. Or at least if you can start small by picking up a money book and just start to reverse some of that programming. And just remember that if let's say you're 24 like me, I started to reverse some of my money, I'm going to say dysfunction, I would say maybe 2 years ago. And so that was 22 years worth of dysfunctional, kind of poverty-ish mindset thoughts. So if it took 22 years to build that up, it's going to take a little bit more time to replace those old thoughts and transform it into new, I don't want to say positive, but more thoughts along the lines of what you want for your life. And then the last one is permit, then commit. And when I say permit, then commit is just meaning that if we don't allow ourselves permission to go after these things and allow ourselves the permission to create a plan for those things, then it'll never happen for us. And then, so once you do get a plan and you do have an idea, okay, how am I going to get this done? Or how am I going to go after this thing? Then you commit to the plan, because you're only going to get there if you commit. If you half doing stuff, or you half committing, you're going to get half results. You know what I mean? And so that's very important. And then there's a reason why they're in this order. Because it's going to be hard for you to permit yourself to do these things and then commit if your association with money is backwards, or it's backwards for what you envision for your life. And then it's going to be difficult to investigate your mindset on money, investigate your currency, when you don't even allow yourself, you have no reason to do that if you don't even allow yourself to dream, or you don't even allow yourself the permission to figure out, what do I actually desire? Not what has been taught to me in my environment to desire, what do I actually desire? And there's purpose in this. And so I encourage you to take the time to think about what I've just said. And if you have any questions, of course, comment them down below if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube and you're just audio only, email at qualitycuplife@gmail.com, and I'll do my best to answer your questions on the podcast. So thank you so much. Of course, once again, if you need a little more context, go back to previous videos or previous podcasts, and then stay tuned for next week, and we're going to talk about the third pillar, and that is the body. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Live your life on purpose. You guys are amazing. See ya. Bye.